Now we're going to get into the meat of what I'm going to show you to a sort of nifty way of illustrating our answer to what it is that we're searching for through our addictive behaviors when we develop those and are using mood altering substances or behaviors to change how we feel. What is it that we're searching for? To give you a little bit of background on this, when I first got sober and I started studying all this stuff, I was studying the medicine wheel. And oh, life is a circle. Oh, I get it, the death rebirth stuff. Isn't this interesting? Oh, and then I got into the storytelling and I started working with fairy tales and I was studying the hero's journey. And oh, this makes a lot of sense too. And I really resonated with that stuff, right? And I told you in, I guess it was last week, I shared a song because I told you about when I relapsed as a drug counselor. I couldn't work in the treatment industry for a while, and I had to just sort of sit around and get my recovery back on track. And I thought, well, I'm a musician. I'm going to try and do some stuff with music and relating to recovery. So I got this idea to write a rock musical that told the story of addiction and recovery. And I was going to use songs that I'd written throughout different times of my life because I was, okay, my story is your story, is your story, is your story. We all have the same story is basically what this medicine wheel and hero's journey show us, right? And so I got this idea, okay, it's my story. I'm going to show, pick songs from different times in my life, should reflect my process of going through this. And then I also realized, because it's more than just my story, these models, the medicine wheel and the hero's journey, work. And so this would actually be a musical portrayal of the medicine wheel or a musical portrayal of the hero's journey. They're all, and so I wrote this musical, and then over the years, as I got back into working in treatment, I developed an entire treatment curriculum around that. I've got a big workbook that goes along with it and talks about all this kind of stuff. But I also started doing stage productions with teenagers in drug treatment. And we would put on these elaborate stage productions that would show how this plays out in real life. And so the reason that I'm sharing all that with you is what I'm going to show you now is a video of the opening scene from the stage production, okay? And so what I want you to picture is you're in the theater, the house goes dark, and we're going to watch this video of the very opening 3 minutes of this play. And there's going to be some narration, because what happens through this play is it's this combination of, there's some narrative kind of stuff that goes on that's relating it to the sun's journey across the sky. And then in between songs, when the actors are doing their dialogue scenes, it's showing how this plays out in real life in one person's story. So with that, I'm going to, and let me say this, I usually play this video, I'm doing it in treatment groups or in individual sessions with clients, and I'll sometimes, without even giving this whole background, I'll say, let's watch this video, and I want you to figure out, take a guess at what this has got to do, what's the meaning behind what you see, the symbolism and the narration, the dialogue that you hear in this video. So I'll suggest the same for you. If you're listening now, and maybe type in the comments your thoughts on what this is. Normally we'll end up having a long process discussion on this. This isn't the right format for doing that. We'll watch this video and I will continue to explain where this fits.
As I stand in the east and the first rays of sunlight dance upon the horizon, I feel welcome. I feel connected. I feel like I belong. Yet I know that I will be leaving this place as it is time for my journey to begin. Just as the sun rises out of the east and makes its way across the sky, I know that I too have a path. I don't know what that path holds for me. There may be dangerous places along the way. There may be painful places. Yet just as the sun must give itself away to the darkness that it may rise again, I know that I too will one day return to this place. This place, which feels like home. This place, which is the beginning of life. This place, where the voices greet me singing, "Welcome, for you deserve to be here."
So I'm going to leave that up here. Again, normally we'd have a group discussion. I'd say, okay, what do you think this means? And lots of times people have all sorts of. One of the really neat things about storytelling and processing stories is whatever comes to your mind and what you think this means is correct. Because that's the magic of stories. All stories are, and the same thing with interpreting song lyrics, or in this case, this narration. Whatever this says to you, it's not teaching you anything. This is just a collection of symbols that's pulling stuff out of you that you already know. So whatever is, you're looking at this dialogue written here, however you see it, whatever speaks to you, what makes sense, reminds you of something, I would, if you shared that, I'd say that's exactly right. And we, again, have some interesting conversations, and two people might see something totally different, and I would say that's exactly right to both of you. But here's some commentary from teacher here on my thoughts on what I'm trying to portray, or not trying to portray. It's more like I realized this after the fact. I wrote this narration when we were writing the stage production for this thing, and it wasn't until years later I started realizing how powerful and profound this little 2.5 minute scene is, because this dialogue right here, if you ask me, says it all. And this is how we get to the answer of what is it that we're searching for through our addiction. What is it that we're looking for when we're trying to change how we feel?